speaking to people who've been in solitary confinement, like in Vietnam, for years. They come back and they've been talking to God the whole time. All you need is a little quiet. If you have too much noise in your life, try turning the noise off. God's still small voice. You can't hear it over the noise. And there's so much noise everywhere, right? Roll up the windows. When you're listening to music in the car, you don't go down with the windows open. You always roll up the windows so you can hear. I suggest that you roll up the windows. Say no to that movie, no to that music, no to that book, no to that novel, no to that soap opera. Roll up the window and listen to God's voice. So anyway, I'm used to talking to God, by the way. I am, and everybody should. And you get used to it. At the beginning, you wonder which voice it is, so you got to compare it to God's Word. And pretty soon you're realizing He's talking to the Word all the time, and when He does that, you can be safe. When His peace and His Word fit, you know it comes from God. So therefore, God gave me an idea. Now, I believe that playing the game of life is like playing with a deck of cards. Forgive the analogy. But if you're holding 3 cards or 5 cards, you can have some choices. And sometimes we have choices. Should I go to work in Africa? Should I go to work in Philippines? Maybe I should go to Papua New Guinea? You have choices. But sometimes you're not holding very many cards. And I wasn't holding any cards when I went to the bathroom. And when I came out of the bathroom, I was holding 1 card. So I played it. Call your bank president and ask him to loan you the money. Well, I don't like borrowing money, but I've learned one thing. When God gives that opportunity, I'm not spending it on myself. I'm spending it on souls. I don't like to borrow, but sometimes borrowing is like normal business. When you buy a house, you don't just pay cash all the time. Not everybody can do that. So you make a 30-year payment plan. Somebody loaned you the money, right? The bank. So sometimes you have to do business like this. And so I said, Lord, I'm willing to do that, but I wish somebody would just give me the money. But that wasn't the card I was holding. Nobody had. So I said, can I borrow the phone? Sure. I called my bank president. Randy. Yes? This is David. I'm in Bolivia. I just bought a $1.5 million television network. You did what? I bought a network and I need to borrow $100,000 for the down payment. But David, you don't have any money. Exactly. That's why I need you to borrow. Loan it to me. He said, okay, David. I've been watching you long enough. And every time you move forward, God does something. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very sweet. We'll take a little at a time because maybe there won't be any more. And so the bank president said, David, you know what? I've been watching you. I'll loan it to you. And he wired me the money. Of course, the seller of the network, he was happy, right? I asked for $100,000. He sent me $100,000. I'm happy. So everything proceeded normally. But I went back to the States kind of a little depressed state. Lord, I'm still in debt, $1.5 million. I mean, you loaned me another $100,000, but I just shifted the debt across. I would rather you give me the money. But that's not an option. Okay, I'll just do whatever options you give me. Those are the cards I'll play. I can't play another card I don't have. So I went to the States, and a few weeks later, I got a letter in the mail. Dear David, my wife and I had a terrible, tragic accident. My wife was killed, and the life insurance paid me $100,000. I cannot use this money. It's the lifeblood of my wife. I'm sending you a check for $100,000. Use it in God's work as you see fit. Even in tragedy, God is able to move His work forward. And you know, He's told me over and over and over again how blessed He was to be able to to provide the founding money for that television network that now is in the homes of 100 million people. And He gave that money. I took it to the bank president, and the bank president said, I knew God was going to give it to you. Well, I went down to Bolivia. The 2 months were up. It was time to pay $1.4 million. And I said, Lord, I know you're going to give it to me. I know you're going to give it to me. I know. And I had just gone to ASI. I told all my friends. By the way, I have 5 very, very wealthy friends. Any one of them, pocket money could be $1 million. And so I knew God was going to impress one of them. So I went to the wealthiest one. And I just shared the story. Now, I didn't ask, but I shared the story. I expected him to say, David, we have been watching you and we are thrilled at what God is doing through you. There's never been a Spanish television network. We just believe that God is using you, and we'll do all in our power to help you. David, thanks for letting yourself be used by God. This is what was ringing in my ears, thinking I was going to hear that. You know what he said? David, you're a criminal. You should have never signed a document without any money. But I said, I bought airplanes and schools. We never have money. No, but that's little money. Well, for you, maybe. $100,000, $50,000 is a little money. I'm just a missionary pilot. I don't have anything. I'm a volunteer. I don't have a salary. For you, that's pocket money. But no, David, this is $1.5 million. Can you get that through your head? $1.5 million. He said, if you think we're going to pull you out of this one, you're wrong. This time you went overboard. I'm going to make sure nobody gives you any money. I was stunned. He said, I'm going to tell everybody else, and you're going to sink, you're going to go bankrupt on this one because you have to learn your lesson. I said, but I've been operating on this principle for several years already. I'm sorry. I've been in business for 47 years, and I can tell you right now, this time you went overboard and you're going to sink by yourself. I said, well, if I have to carry the load by myself, I guess I will. I'm used to that. I've been doing it for years. I just figured you would be happy. At least you could pray with me and say, God bless this project. But if you really think I'm a criminal because I did it, see you in heaven, and we'll get to meet all the people that come in. But I don't know how to answer you. I don't know. If I did a crime, then God will just give me the consequences. But if it is God, and I believe it is God, I'll see you next year, and we'll still be on the air. I went back to Bolivia, knowing I had to pay $1.4 million. I had no idea, but I knew God was going to do something. Got down there. The first time we went down, they said, we're not ready. Could you come back next month? I said, happily. Then when I was finally ready, they said, okay, everything is ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Okay. I'm ready for God to give me the money is what I meant to say. And so I went down there, and he produced all the documents. There's the permission for that channel and that channel. It's all been transferred to your names, to the organization. Everything is here, all the permissions. Everything is in order. I said, thank you. I took a long time reviewing every page. Couple questions on this page. And finally, after I got done all the way to the end, everything was in order. I said, okay, can I use your bathroom, please? I went to the bathroom. Lord, I'm not holding that card. What's your suggestion? I don't have 1.4 million. What? No, I don't like that. No, it's absolutely embarrassing. It's not acceptable. What? That's what I'm supposed to do? I'm mortified. The only thing that I got from God, and I was mortified. I thought this was the end of everything. Just tell him you don't have the money yet. What? How can I tell him I don't have the money yet? When we signed this deal months ago, the guy expects his money. He's a businessman. That's all you can tell him. I came out there kind of in shock. I said, I just wanted to tell you that I'm not ready to pay you yet. I don't have the money. And I expected him to say, what kind of businessman are you anyhow? You know what he said? Oh, don't worry, David. God will give it to you next month. This is a miracle. I came back next month, and he said, now do you have it? Can I borrow your bathroom? Next month, and the next month, and the next month, and the next month. 12 months later, I'm still going to the bathroom and coming back with the same answer. Now, I knew God had them. Does God have the money? Oh, absolutely. The money is not the problem for God. People is God's biggest problem, not money. And so I knew that God had the money, but for some reason, he didn't want me to pay. Later on, I discovered that this was a very good thing for my rich friends, because a year later, they came and said, David,